Hi guys, so today I wanted to talk about makeup books. I'm going to be honest and say that a lot of the techniques that I learned weren't from watching YouTube gurus. It was actually from doing a lot of research with books. And what I did was I went to the library and I checked out a ton of them over time, read through them, learned stuff, and then bought my favorites. I just got two new ones here that I already knew that I wanted, and I'm going to go through, I think I have, 5 books that I recommend, and I'm going to go through and explain why I like them, and why I thought they were helpful, and who they might be helpful for. So I'm just going to jump into it. So the first one here is called Makeup: The Ultimate Guide. And this is by Rae Morrison. So the reason that I like this book, it doesn't cover the basics very well, that's for sure, but so it's got really pretty pictures, and it covers brows really well. It really goes into depth for that right there. It covers fake lashes, so it kind of goes through one by one, like these are natural lashes, these are, you know, dramatic lashes, and like how they work and how to put them on. It has like little eye color charts that basically go through your eye color. So like here I have like the brown eye color chart, and it tells you like these are the colors that are going to look really good with your brown eyes, because that's what's going to make them pop. And it goes through each eye color, of course. It's got beautiful pictures, and it's mostly eye looks is what I noticed, which is great because I felt like that's where I needed a lot of help at one point, especially by the time that I got this book. And it covers Asian eyes as well. So this is actually like an Asian eye tutorial, which I feel is great because there aren't a lot of books out there that cover how to do an Asian eye. And I feel like maybe there are a lot of people out there who have these eye shapes and don't know what to do with them. And so this is actually a really good book for that. It does cover it fairly well. Like here's another Asian eye look. Like that's the picture. There are the directions. I will say that the directions are not incredibly in-depth, but they are easy to follow, and I think that with practice you can absolutely make these things work. One of the things though is that the eye looks, they go through them fairly well, like I said, but they look super messy in the pictures as they're going through them. So it's like you can see like the model has like eyeshadow all up under her eye and all of that. And then the finished product looks like this, and it's all editorial and pretty. So what the part that they don't tell you is, oh, and then we go in afterward and fix all of our mistakes. So, you know, the makeup can be messy, and, you know, whatever works for you. Another thing that this book covers really well is like over 40s. So it's like it goes kind of through like what kind of makeup you should and shouldn't wear when you're over 40. It goes over some small tutorials and gives you some ideas of like things that can kind of like help your facial structure, make you look younger and all that jazz. So that was pretty cool. Obviously not relevant to me, but definitely isn't something that's covered a lot. And then the last thing is that it has like this series of 10-minute tutorials. So these are not incredibly in-depth, but they are really fun to like look at and then try to follow. So like I said, the directions aren't, actually for the 10-minute tutorials, they're a lot better than just for the eye looks, but it is very broad because it is going through a whole entire like face makeup deal. It kind of goes like put your foundation on, do this, do that, but they're simple and easy to follow because they are 10-minute makeup looks. So I very much like this book. It is definitely not for a brand new to makeup person. It's for someone that's kind of got the basics down and is looking for like more advanced stuff. So that's a really great book for that. Let's say that you are a complete makeup noob and you really do need to go right back to basics. The other books that I have here are really good for that, and one of my favorites is actually Gemma Kidd's book. This one is called Makeup Masterclass. And right from the get-go, it's just, you can tell it's a very, very pretty book. I love the cover. So this one has very pretty pictures. And it kind of goes through, sorry, I'm looking at my notes. It kind of goes through like skin tones and, you know, skin care and all of that jazz. And it also kind of goes through, like here I have the dark olive look, and it kind of gives you like a, hey, you know, if you are dark olive like myself, these are the colors that look good on you, and you know, this is the kind of colors you should kind of steer closer to. And it has it for like light olive and fair skin and all of that. So it does a really good job of going over that. And it does a good job of going over basics, like it goes through brush types, what they're for. It has a little diagram at the beginning that kind of like helps walk you through that. It walks through eye shapes, which I think is a really big thing for a lot of people. They feel like, you know, well, I don't know what my eye shape is. What should I be doing with it? So it covers eye shapes, and then it tells you what to do to enhance them, to fix them. And then it also has like really fun little 2-page sets of like top 10 eye looks, and these are all a bunch of different looks, and it kind of explains like briefly how to go through them, and then explains them even more in depth in the next couple pages. And then it has that same thing for lips as well. So let's see, it covers skincare, it provides a color chart, but it doesn't cover Lady of Color very much. So it's like it glosses over it like, hey, these are the colors that look good on you, and then after that it kind of just goes downhill from there. But one really cool thing is that it has these like charts. So this is like the contouring chart, and it tells you exactly, sorry, this is the concealing chart. It tells you exactly like where your concealer should go and why it should go there. And then it has like another chart that teaches you how to highlight. It tells you exactly where highlighting would go and why it would go there. And another great one is the contouring chart. So again, it's like, hey, this is where you would contour. Why do you want to contour there? Because of this. So it's really good at explaining that kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed that, and it has a whole diagram to explain blush placement, which I think is actually an issue for some women. They're just like, well, I don't know where my blush is supposed to go. Is it supposed to go on the apple of my cheeks? Is it supposed to go back here? Like, what do I do? And this gives you a good idea of like 4 things to try, and then you kind of just pick your favorite after that. It covers lip shape very well, like how to do the perfect lip, you know, like lip lining, all of that jazz. And then it has daytime and nighttime looks. And again, when it goes into the daytime and nighttime looks, it actually does do a pretty good job of going back to like light skin, you know, fair skin, olive skin, deep skin. And so here's like one for like deep skin. This is like a daytime look. Again, the directions aren't incredibly in depth. It covers the eyes, and then everything else is just kind of left out. And then it covers nighttime looks. So this was one of my favorites. It's like this like hunter green kind of like eye look for nighttime. I thought that was pretty cool. It kind of like, it tells you how to do the eye fairly well, and then it's just like, and put on your foundation and do a nude lipstick and stuff like that. So not super in depth for the whole face. But then it kind of goes into these other looks where it does go a little bit more in depth. This one's called like Beach Babe, and it covers the makeup for the whole face. So I think the reason that they do it here is because it actually does matter. You're not wearing very much makeup when you go to the beach, so they need to explain how to do the whole face. So Gemma Kid Masterclass, very, very good for beginners. It's a wonderful book for that. But like I said, it doesn't really comprehensively cover women of color. So one of my very, very favorite books for people with Asian or olive skin or dark skin is actually written by Iman, the model, and it's called The Beauty of Color. It's the ultimate guide for skin of color. And this is very much geared more towards African American skin, but a lot of it transcends and is just a really good explanation. So, you know, the best way to put it is it's like, let's say you had a teenage daughter who was of colored skin of some sort, and she didn't quite know the basics, and she didn't really know what kind of makeup she should be wearing. This is a really good book to cover that. It starts from the very beginning. It goes on. It starts with powder. It covers bronzers as well, which, you know, I think women of color don't necessarily know, like, should I be wearing bronzer? What do I do with it? But like I said, it also covers Asians. And so it's really great because here, this is an actual tutorial for an eye look for Asian eyes. So I think that's pretty great because it actually covers that fairly well. And then after that, it starts giving you looks to work with. The looks they have very basic directions, but you should be able to kind of figure it out from what's at the beginning of the book, where they kind of walk you through how to do it. And with practice, you should be able to achieve these things if you're a beginner, but obviously it's going to be very daunting from the very beginning. So obviously it's easier to start with the simpler looks, but then they cover celebrities. So this is Eva Mendes, and they have this whole look for her, and also kind of like with the celebrity looks, they did some kind of like fun and crazy stuff. So here's Tyra Banks looking very ethereal, you know, so it kind of gives you some inspiration for when you've mastered how to do makeup, something to aspire to, like more fun looks more than just like the basic stuff. So another book that's really, really great for women with olive skin is actually called Latina Beauty. So this is a very dated book. I believe it was written in the late 90s or early 2000s or something like that. But so this book doesn't just cover makeup. It covers a little bit of everything. So again, this is a really, really great book for a teenage girl who is just learning about beauty in general, just because this covers like makeup and hair and, you know, waxing and, you know, taking care of your body and eating well. And so it's kind of like Bobbi Brown's book for teenagers, but for Hispanic girls. And so I think this is actually a really, really good book for that, despite the fact that it's a little dated just in the makeup looks that it includes. And the explanations and like the general kind of directions about how to contour, how to apply blush and all of that, those things never really change, you know, it's just the basics will always be the basics. So it covers that stuff really well. So like here it's talking about blush, and it has like little tips on the bottom, like what kind of brush size to buy for your face size, and you know, a lot of really good stuff. Like it's got, you know, explanations about bronzers and a little diagram of exactly where that would go. So this is a really good book for a very, very beginner person who is really trying to figure out how to apply makeup and what colors am I supposed to be wearing. And I think this is a really good book for Hispanic women and Hispanic girls who are just kind of like looking for, you know, who do I look like? Who can I copy? And how can I figure out what colors or what looks I should be wearing? This is a really good book for that. So this was actually one of my very first favorite books. I think it's very good at covering the basics. But like I said, it doesn't just cover makeup. It covers hair and, you know, what have you. So again, it's a really good book for like a teenage girl, or just let's say that you're a Hispanic woman who really, really doesn't know how to do the basics of makeup. This is a really good one. Another really good book, and this one I think a lot of people recommend to people like, oh, you don't know how to do makeup? You have to get this book. And I agree. I think that Making Faces by Kevyn Aucoin is like the industry standard book of how to do makeup, and nothing about this book is dated despite the fact that it was written so long ago, because it, again, the basics are the basics and he covers them so well. And so, you know, here he's talking about concealing. He definitely makes he definitely made a huge effort to kind of include different skin colors. I think it's a little bit lacking in that. But for the basics, it's really great. Like here he talks about lip shape and like how to achieve different lip shapes, like fuller lips or stuff like that. They're really great little diagrams included. And, you know, like walkthroughs on how to do like a glamorous eye look and, you know, where you're putting things and why you're putting them there, what kind of product you should be using and why you should use that product instead of another product. And then he starts going into makeovers done on real women. So this is, you know, what she looked like before, and then this is what she looked like after. And he kind of walks you through, like, you know, I lightened her hair, I lightened her eyebrows, and then I applied all of this stuff, and this is how I applied it, and this is how I achieved that look. So despite the fact that it's not pictures of step-by-step directions, I still think the directions are very, very good. And it gets more advanced as you go, but I still think for a beginner, these are easy to follow, especially because you have the previous pages that kind of explain to you, you know, what products are and how they work and when you would use them. And then he starts doing these really fun celebrity looks. So this is actually Lisa Marie Presley as Marilyn Monroe, and then he still walks you through exactly how to achieve this look. So it's actually really fun to have these like really great looks of like, oh, hey, I could dress up like this for Halloween, or, you know, I can figure out how to do Marilyn Monroe's lips for my daily look, you know. So it's just, it's very, very interesting. Like this is Gwyneth Paltrow, and I think my other favorite here, this is actually, again, Lisa Marie Presley, but she looks very Audrey Hepburn-esque, and I really loved that. And so he walks you through all of these looks. So I very, very much recommend this book for people who don't know very much about makeup, and even for people who really do, because, like I said, he does like those makeovers and then those celebrity makeovers as well, until like other celebrities, and so those are really fun looks to like practice and try and just have, you know. So I definitely recommend that by Kevin Aucoin. He has a second book called Face Forward as well. I also recommend this one. This is like a very, very good like second edition to making faces. So again, he covers the basics very briefly and then kind of like delves into doing really, really great and interesting looks on people and celebrities, and really fun book to have. So those are my makeup books. This just turned into like a 20-minute long video. So hopefully that'll be helpful to someone. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I got all of my books off of Amazon. I try to get them used if I could. Otherwise, I would just buy them full price from there. And yeah, I mean, getting them used is really simple, and it's great, and it's cheap. Like I got my, I believe I got this for about like $7 shipped. And I got Making Faces for about $5 or $6 shipped. So you can find them for really cheap. So it's not a huge investment, but it is incredibly helpful. So if you feel like you need the help, or you just want to have some like really fun inspirations, then this is a really good way to do it. So yeah, hopefully this helped you guys out. If you have any questions, again, let me know, put them in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!